All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, or should I say good evening? I don't know why I keep getting that mixed up. But good afternoon, evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, and this is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. Before I get started, I want to thank everybody from C Nation Dog for liking Eddie's tribute video that I did a couple of days ago last week. Thank you guys for that. I really appreciate that. Thank you, C Nation Dog. Thank you, everyone that's been complimenting. Thank you. With that, let's get started with tonight's review of Friday Night SmackDown, where we opened up in a very. We had some really cool and chilling promos tonight. We really did. We had Edge opening up the show talking about his upcoming event, Hell in a Cell with Seth Rollins. And I gotta tell you, that was a very cold, awesome, chilling promo that Edge delivered, especially near the ending. But let's talk about some of the things he said in the beginning. He he said that we all remember when he called Seth Edge Light, but he's not that. He's Edge. He's Seth freaking Rollins. And the fans were like, Seth, you suck. But either way, Edge gave props. And of course, Edge said earlier that Seth Rollins, which is the reason he called himself Light, is a reminder of himself from his years in the Ruthless Aggression era. And that's also true because let's not forget, before Seth did this cold deed of breaking into his family's home, Edge, not house, home. Edge did the same thing to John Cena when he went over to John Cena's father's house and slapped him. So this is straight out of the playbook of Edge, just like Edge said. But Edge delivered and ended with a very chilling, awesome promo where he said, I'm gonna give you a scar, and this is the scar that you do never heal from. That was awesome. And if that wasn't good enough, Seth Rollins, boy, Seth Rollins came in with a heck of a promo of his own, reminding us all that he has been in the cell more times, including the infamous one where the show ended with a no contest after Seth had finally got the upper hand on the Fiend. Where is the Fiend? I don't know if he's going to AEW or what, but rumor has it we should be seeing him at some point soon. WWE made a mistake letting him go, and Braun Strowman. But either way, moving on to this situation right here, Seth reminded us that he has Hell in the Cell experience. He's never won, to my knowledge, because keep in mind he lost to Kevin Owens, thanks to AEW's own Chris Jericho, and he had that infamous night with The Fiend, and it ended in a no contest. Fans were pissed off, and they ended up chanting AEW on a WWE show. Now, that is something you don't want to happen. But this time, we're going to get a conclusion. Edge can get a little dark too. Let's not forget, Edge has been inside Hell in a Cell with The Undertaker, the king of hell itself. And speaking of hell, Edge escaped hell when The Undertaker threw him to the bottom of the ring and the ring caught fire. So Edge has great, even though Edge has been in there once and Seth has been in there twice with extra experience in 2018, you gotta remember, Edge has seen more dark trauma inside Hell in a Cell. SummerSlam 2008. My odds on favorite, to be honest, Edge. That's my pick. Not just because I'm rooting for him, but my odds on favor is Edge to win Hell in the Cell. There may be two devils, but this rated R devil is going to get this one. That's what I believe. Speaking of hell and the devil, The Demon King gets one step closer, as he used to be known. Finn Balor, even though he's not bringing in his persona, Finn Balor gets one step closer, in the words of Linkin Park, to the edge. Just kidding. Or should I say, one step closer to becoming King of the Ring after defeating Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn thought he had a trick up his sleeve, but the referee caught him, but it didn't work out in his favor. And now Finn Balor gets one step closer. And I gotta be honest, with this one, I think Finn Balor is the odds-on favorite to win the King of the Ring. Now think about that. The Demon King. It's got a good ringtone to it. We used it in 2016, but the Demon as King. Or the Prince going from Prince to King. It will be, I'll tell you what would be nice. What would be nice is if we had a baby face as a king. We're always having heels. We liked them later, but they were always heels. Owen Hart, Macho Man was a heel. Owen was a heel. Triple H was a heel at the time. King Booker, bow down to your new king. That was entertaining. Even though he was a villain, he was the king of the world. That was hilarious. Did you guys see that triple threat match between Finlay, Batista, and the almighty Bobby Lashley? King Booker was just awesome on commentary, but he was also hilarious. When Batista was slammed through the announce table, I can't count how many times Batista said, "Batista is down! Batista is down! Batista is down!" Later. The King Batista is down. That was hilarious when Booker T used to do that. But moving on, I think the odds-on favor will probably be Finn Balor. And regardless of whether it is Jinder Mahal or Xavier Woods, I think Finn Balor is the odds-on favorite to win this King of the Ring tournament. And a lot of people think this tournament is overlooked. I remember doing this summer, I did a review on King of the Ring 2001, and someone made a compliment saying how, as great as the event was, the King of the Ring tournament itself was overlooked. And that was the title of the whole pay-per-view, so it was supposed to be the whole point. But a lot of times it did get overlooked, and social media is saying that it's overlooked. The Kings, last week, all the tournament matches were pretty short. And Finn Balor versus Cesaro got about 10, 11 minutes in, but hopefully they don't get overlooked this time. Speaking of Queen's Crown, I gotta say, I found a new respect for Carmella when I found out she did an emulation of the Great One, The Rock. But either way, regardless, even though I've found a new respect for her, I still think Vega would make a good queen. An evil, attractive yet evil queen. Although, let's be honest, I mean, she is married to the House of Black, now known as Malachi Black, who is driving the Rhodes family crazy on AEW to the point where fans are actually going towards Malachi and not Cody. Sometimes it's a little mixed. I don't know. But either way, tonight's match with Carmella and Zelina Vega, it started off with great sportsmanship until Carmella acted on instinct and super kicked Vega in the face, and that set her off. Vega, I'm speaking of, and she got straight street on her. And thanks to outside interference, distraction mind games from Liv Morgan, a rival of Carmella, Zelina Vega went for the roll-up, and she is advancing in the Queen's Crown. She could be the odds-on favorite to win the whole tournament, if not for the fact that Shayna Baszler is in the tournament. Get you a shield. Vega needs a shield because, I mean, Dana Brooke escaped with her arm intact, and sometimes I just get nervous if she don't break everybody's arm. Speaking of Shayna Baszler, it has been rumored that Shayna and Sonya would work together, and those rumors were true as they grouped up to take down Naomi. Boo. But interestingly enough, both of them have an MMA background, so that's interesting. Two females with MMA experience coming together. Now that's a dangerous tag team. That if I'm Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH, watch your back. Speaking of which, where is Shotzi and Tegan Knox? Come on, people. For goodness sake. Where are they? They should just go back to, if y'all gonna do them like this, they should just go back to NXT. Sheesh. Either way, moving forward to some more interesting news at hand. Tonight, let me make sure I covered everything. Tag team match with the Bloodlines Usos versus the Street Profits. It was great. The Street Profits paid tribute to the Dudley Boys, calling for a table after Montez Ford shows once again that he can fly. Awesomely. And of course, he was able to stand on the announce table without breaking it this time. Thank you, Lord. But either way, it was a great tag team match. Now, I'm going to tell you something funny. If I'm Montez Ford, I got to be thinking to myself, God, why me? Why me? I'm always going through a table. Why me? Because once again, Montez Ford was slammed through a table, and it was a double splash that won the match after double super kicks and double splashes. So once again, Usos retain the titles in a tag team street fight. Moving forth, Sasha Banks has a lot of momentum going into this Sunday, having a victory tonight over Becky Lynch. Yes, it came with a little bit of outside interferences or mind games, but she didn't have to get involved, as she said. But Sasha, regardless, has a lot of momentum, and Bianca is going to Raw. Sasha stays on SmackDown. Becky Lynch is going to Raw. So regardless of what happens, there will be a championship on each show, because if Charlotte or Bianca win, they'll go to Raw with the championship. But if Sasha wins, then the plot twist is going to get a little interesting. All I know is it's going to be a great match, and I cannot wait to see it. Sasha has a lot of momentum on her side. But now, let's get to some real interesting stuff. Tonight, in the contract signing, we have Brock Lesnar and his size 70 boots. Pat McAfee is so funny. I'm going to tell you, I'm so glad Shinsuke is on SmackDown still. Thank you, Shinsuke and Rick Boogs, for interrupting Baron Corbin and his stupid jokes. It's bad enough that one Madhouse, whatever the heck his name is, got fired from working with the Joker, but his jokes are just terrible. I mean, I was just standing there just snoring the entire time. Every time the Happy Talk show comes on, I just fall asleep. I really do. This is just the most ridiculous angle I've ever seen. And with Kevin Owens going to Raw, hopefully Kevin Owens will be used properly. But this angle is ridiculous. And then y'all gonna wonder why AEW is kicking WWE's butt. But either way, I mean, Tegan Knox and Shotzi Blackheart could occupy that time with much more better quality than this. Ugh. Jesus. But moving on to the main event. Back to the main event. The contract signing was on and popping. It was awesome. And then, here I am. Roman signs the contract. And I'm thinking Brock Lesnar is just being a savage by signing it without looking. I thought that was just savage. But then Brock Lesnar reveals that he had already saw the contract when he signed it with advisement from his counsel, his advocate, Paul Heyman. Jerry, 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 Jerry. And I don't even watch that show. But again, Jerry. All I know is this. Crown Jewel is going to be off the hook. Just off the hook. And I don't think and hopefully the King's Crown won't be used in an underrated standpoint, but that they will make that match just as interesting as all the others. But I think this match is going to be excellent. I think that show is going to be great, even with The Undertaker not being there. Dirty. But speaking of which, the Harley Quinn star is a huge Undertaker fan. But either way, kudos to the New Day for surviving The Undertaker on that Netflix show. But either way, Crown Jewel, I'm really excited to see that event. I really am. And that's all the time I got for you today. If the universe willing, or Lord willing, as I heard it coming up, I will see you this Sunday for an On This Day review of No Mercy 1999. But until then, this is the show. Have a good weekend.